family, this is your brother here once again, DeAndre Riley, D.R Speaks, and you have just tuned into another edition of I've Got Something to Say. Thank you so very much for taking the time to view this broadcast. Your support is so greatly appreciated. Listen, family, today I'm bringing you a snippet, a portion of a message that I'm very excited to bring you. I had the opportunity in the month of March to go down to Atlanta, Georgia, to speak at Morehouse College. I spoke to the people down there about the power of influence. Shout out to the organization Edge down there, Francisco, Lindsay. Definitely appreciate you all for the invite. But listen, family, I want you to take a look at this message. I'll be back in a couple of minutes to give you a little bit more information. D.R Speaks. Peace. Be blessed. Discussing, or the flyer said, power of influence. And the power of influence is a very diverse subject. It's something that I think if I went around the room and asked you all various questions, you may have different views. You may give me a myriad of answers about what you think influence is. But for sake of tonight's conversation, we're going to focus more on our gifts. We're going to focus more on the abilities that we have, the talents that we have, character, integrity, and how all these things help us in, I guess, having a powerful influence, and hopefully in the good area. Because whether you believe it or not, you can inspire people. That's a form of influence. You can motivate people. You can compel people to do things positively, or you can do so negatively. Whether you believe it or not, you can motivate somebody to do some things negative. I think Hitler is a witness to that. You got cult leaders that have done things that have encouraged people to do things that are against their moral code per se, maybe against what God wants them to do, that was to their own detriment. Not to make it too spiritual, but Satan, he compelled 1/3 of heaven to rebel against God with the influence that he had. And so I will hope that we will take the influence that we have and utilize it in a more positive way and see what we can do to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Because the gifts that we have, the talents, the things and the abilities that we've been blessed with, they are not for us alone. They're to make a difference in this world. They are for you to be able to do something to better someone else's life. I heard the quote say once that if you're not living or if you're not bettering someone else's life, you're wasting your time. You're not really fit to live. And I believe our whole agenda is to help each other out, to help strengthen each other. If you have a weakness and I got an area that I'm strong in, maybe we can kind of work together and we can kind of climb to the mountaintop together. One thing I can't stand to see is the crab in the bucket mentality. People hurting each other, people pulling each other down, people thinking that I got to make it first. And unfortunately, my friend, he wrote this book called 100 Wild Life. And this whole book is about utilizing the things that you have within you to shine brighter more often. To live 100 Wild Life in essence, to let your light so shine. And one point that he makes in this book is that just because my light turns on does not diminish your light already being on. If you notice, if I turn one of those switches off over there, and the light was still on, and we turn the other switch back on, it doesn't stop the other light from shining, but it brings about a brighter hue in the room. And so when we work together, we can make a bigger impact, we can make a bigger difference, we can help each other out in a more positive way. The number one thing that we have to understand and realize that before we ever get started with anything, we got to have our mind straight. Because a lot of us, we want to be famous. If you would be honest, some of us want to be famous, we want to be very successful. If I ask by show of hands how many of you all want to be millionaires? I think that's just about everybody in the room. You all want to be millionaires, I understand. I would like to do that too. But realize and understand this, that as you are in the pursuit of greatness, as you are in the pursuit of success, as you are in the pursuit of reaching your goals, life is going to happen. Things are going to happen in life. That's going to try to deter you. That's going to try to get you down. And it all starts here in the mind. Everyone deals with tragedy at some point in their life. And if you haven't yet, just keep on living. Sooner or later you will. Unfortunately for me, I got introduced to tragedy very young. I wish I wouldn't have sometime, but I recognize the things that I had to deal with is what God utilized to help me kind of stand on the platform which I stand on today. Lost my dad when I was 4 years old. Grow without my dad. Go to prom, go to graduation, make the football team, score my first touchdown. By the way, my wife is here, I get married. He's not there to see that. It's unfortunate. Another statistic per se. Another African American male that grew up without his father. Now, I could have made the excuses. I ain't have my dad in my life. So I'm going to live a messed up life. I'm going to rebel. I'm going to sell drugs. I'm going to be out on the streets doing whatever it is that I want to do. And make the excuse because so many young men, my dad wasn't around. That's garbage. Like, drop it. And so, at 9 years old, my mother died. She took her own life. Imagine that. So now, 28 years old now, grow up and accomplish many wonderful things. Start my business. I'm doing radio right now. I'm doing television right now. All these different things, and my parents aren't there to witness it. A part of me longs for that. That's something that I would never ever have replaced. Thanks be to God that He came in and filled those voids, those hurts, those things. This is what that's what helped me. My relationship with God took me to a place. It allowed me through some valleys, some low places, some trying and tough times. And He kept my mind through the whole process. And so we have to equip our mind with the tools, the things necessary that when trials and tribulation happen in life, I always say this, and you probably heard this quote before too. When you get started towards your journey to success and things get hard, remember why you got started in the first place. Because it probably was somebody that maybe encouraged you to want to get started. I want to maybe give up on certain things, but then I kind of look back and say, wait, my family kind of depended on me. My wife depended on me. There's people that are looking up to me. Every day I go on Facebook and make a status or put a video up, make a post on Instagram, tweet a tweet, whatever. I don't always do that because I feel like it. Don't always feel like what I'm saying at the time. But there's something that's pressing me in my heart. There's something in my mind that just won't let the call on my life go. And I have to continue on doing what I'm doing. I'm thoroughly convinced now, come what may, I'm still going to stand. I'm still going to keep going. I'm going to still do what it is that God called me to do. So we got to fight for whatever it is that whatever we're working for, whatever we're striving towards, fight for it. Because a lot of times we make the battle about people. We make the battle about, I guess, exterior things. My job, the professor, my employer, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband, my wife, my mama did this. And we blame everybody else, but the battle is in the mind. And if you can overcome things in your mind, you can overcome people. You can overcome trials. If you can overcome the battle in your mind, you can overcome poverty and debt and bad credit and everything else. If you focus on the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. And so, I'll take it at a daily basis. Get up, and every single day I'm working on something that's going to get me closer to my ultimate goal. Working on something each and every day to help me do what it is that I've dreamed of doing. Again, don't always feel like it. Life isn't always convenient. Things don't always line up the way I want it to line up, but I gotta keep going. So I wake up every day, I try to renew my mind. Being transformed by the renewing of my mind. Putting things in there every single day, trying to get the old stuff out. Because you can watch the news for like 30 minutes. And for instance, you all can sit here for an hour with me, and I can tell you how great you are, how wonderful you are. I can tell you that your dreams can come true, and then you can go home and watch the news, and you can see 3 young children got shot, somebody got raped, unemployment rate is went up, they increase the tuition, whatever. And you start to kind of let that stuff deteriorate the progress that you made, the motivation that you had. And so every single day, I deposit things in my mind so that when the negative stuff comes, it ain't got room to fit. And if I allow negativity to get to me, it's because I didn't do what I needed to do at the beginning of the day. Maybe I ain't pray like I was supposed to. Maybe I ain't read like I was supposed to. Maybe I ain't focus on the things I need to focus on that day. You are the determining factor. There's no one else is to blame for you not getting the grades that you want to get, for you not being successful in your business, for you not excelling in your job. No one else is to blame. You have to take responsibility for it. So, utilizing the gifts that we have. Remember that. That's going to be the focal point. Because the gifts, our goals, our calling, all of these things work together for us to have a positive influence. Secret number 1, see, having I guess, positive influence, I like this principle. The greatest among us shall be servants. I like what Dr. Kimbrough said. Dennis Kimbrough, he was a professor at Clark Atlanta. He said, service is the price that you pay for the space that you occupy. You are here on this earth taking up space. And you got one sole purpose, and that's to serve humanity. Not tapping into your gifts, not utilizing your gifts, sitting down on your gifts, shunning your gifts. I'm going to get to that in a minute. You're doing not only yourself a disservice, but you're doing society a disservice. Now, the servant, they have this type of mentality. Number one, they want to help people. They care about the needs of others. They are selfless individuals. It's not always about them. And they recognize this principle. You reap what you sow. And so what I make happen for you, God makes happen for me. If I give, it reciprocates right back to me in abundance. I'm a witness to that. And so in business, in ministry, and in my life in general, I'm not always looking for how I can benefit. I could charge people X amount of dollars to do whatever it is I want them to do. Whatever it is I want to do. But I understand this principle of giving. And every time I give, more comes back to me. More opportunities open. More doors open because of my willingness to serve. So, we give, it shall be given back unto us. Being selfless. I like looking at Dr. King's story. Graduate of this university. Young man came here at 15 years old. And by the time I think he was 26, 27 years old, he was a doctor. It's a phenomenal story. Now the thing I love about him is that he could have devoted his life to anything else but what he did. He could have sat in classrooms and just taught for the rest of his life. He could have wrote books. He could have lectured. He could have been a personality on the radio, on television, whatever. But he decided that he would devote his life to service. He decided that he would empty himself, and we know him to be one of the major players in our freedom today. People like him allows opportunities like this to happen. Me and you, we can do whatever we want to do now legally. We can hang with people of different races. If you want to marry somebody of a different race, be friends with them, go to the same schools as them. Years ago, you couldn't do that. And that's what tripped me out about children nowadays. Young people nowadays. I mean, like, you get to go to school now, and the National Guard don't got to escort you in, but you still don't go to class. That's messed up. Now, I'm not casting no stones at nobody, because guess what? I was that guy too. Had the opportunity of a lifetime when I went to Michigan State University. Absolutely just like squandered the whole thing. Should have been trying to score touchdowns, fumbling the ball left and right. Thank God I'm on the right track now, but how much further can we be alone if we commit to what it is that we said we were going to do in the first place? So Dr. King, this man, when you look at all the greats in society, the Steve Jobs, if you look at the Oprahs, the Tyler Perrys, the Bill Gates, whoever you think to be successful, you notice a common thread in all of them. They are servants. Steve Jobs, when he first started Apple, he was not trying to get money. He said, I wanted to bring a computer to people that everybody can use to make their lives easier. Because I'm trying to change the world. I ain't trying to make no money. But watch this. Consequently, in changing the world, money comes. And watch this. He started off trying to make computers. Now people got iPhones, iPads, iPods, iPod decks, computers, everything. Like Apple got it going on. Watch this. Because he decided to become a servant. Hey, what's going on, family? This is your brother here once again, DeAndre Riley, D.R Speaks. And family, you have just got finished watching just a portion of the message that I had the opportunity and privilege to present while I was down in Atlanta, Georgia at Morehouse College. It was a great time. And hopefully you have been enjoying this message, and I'll get right back to it in a minute. But I want to make an announcement to you real quickly. Family, on May 6th, it's my birthday. My birthday is coming up. And I would love if you all would celebrate with me on Friday, May 9th at Bronco Lanes. We're having a birthday and bowling party. Listen, help me celebrate my birthday with a purpose. Come out, join me with some friends, some family, some fun while we bowl. And the proceeds that will come from that particular event will help me to continue to push the vision that I have, to continue to help grow D.R Speaks, this business, this ministry, and the things that God has blessed me to be able to do. That, again, is Friday, May 9th at Bronco Lanes from 9 p.m. to midnight. Tickets are only $12. Now, you can't beat that nowhere. Go to my website, drspeaks.org, for a lot more information. And then you can also order tickets there online if you like to. But I definitely would love to see you there Friday, May 9th at Bronco Lanes. Also, before I get back into this message, I want to take the opportunity to invite you to, I guess, connect with me. Go to my website, like I said previously, drspeaks.org. And hopefully I can be able to connect with you by maybe coming to your organization, coming to your ministry, coming to be able to share this message, this gift that God has allowed me to be able to have. I believe I have something to say that can benefit you, your business, your organization, or your ministry. Connect with me. Bring me in, and I promise you it will be worth your time. I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to this message. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to contact me. I would definitely appreciate it, and your feedback is greatly appreciated as well. But until we meet again, this is your brother here, DeAndre Riley. Peace. Be blessed. Making money and things were going good, but inside I was still messed up. Maybe a relationship may have been going good for a while, but the relationship was abusive. The relationship wasn't healthy. And I was far away from what it was that I knew I was supposed to be doing in my life. Because I shunned or despised the thing that I thought that God wanted me to do. I would grow up in church, and my pastor would always stop me on the Friday night service. They used to do this prayer line, kind of almost like a building like this. They'd come down the aisle, and he'd stand here, he'd pray for everybody. He'd always stop me at like 12, 13 years old and be like, God want to use you. Got a plan for your life. Not trying to over-spiritualize this, but I'm just going to kind of explain my story for a minute. I neglected that. I didn't want to hear what he had to say. So I hear you, old man, but I'm trying to do my own thing. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way until I got up to college and decided I was going to do what I wanted to do. And so I shunned my gift, thinking, or shunned the call, the assignment on my life, thinking that that was not the road that I wanted to go down. That's not what I wanted to do. I didn't think I was equipped to do it. I did these videos at the beginning of the year called 21 Days to Better. And if you go to YouTube, I think if you type 21 Days to Better in, if you type in D.R Speaks, you'll see like the whole 21 days worth of videos. And on day 12, I spoke for this subject. It ain't like 3-4 minutes long a piece. And the subject was, what's in your hands? And so I utilized the biblical story of Moses and how, if you're a Christian, a Jew, or not, you've probably seen the Ten Commandments movie at least. You know who Moses is, probably, or heard of Moses. And so Moses is called to go deliver the children of Israel out of Egyptian bondage. And one day Moses just minded his own business with his wife, his children, you know, looking out for his sheep, doing his shepherd duties, going up in the mountain to take care of his business as he did on a daily basis. One day Moses was walking by and he noticed a bush that was burning. And Moses prayed, I just in my mind, I just imagine him just walking past like, that's nothing out of the ordinary. Bushes in the desert, trees, sticks, they burn in the desert because of the heat. But then I can imagine Moses coming back and saying, wait, that thing's still burning. Like, why hasn't the fire went out yet? And why hasn't this tree been consumed? And so he turns in there, he looks at what's going on, and that's when he hears the voice of God telling him what to do. And Moses, he gets the command. God says to Moses, go back and deliver my people. Moses is like, hold on now, God. You must not know who I am. Moses comes with all these different excuses. I got a speech impediment. I don't have this big army behind me. The people are not going to believe me. What power and strength am I going to go in? See, because Moses, he grew up in the Egyptian household, so he knew their strength, he knew their powers, he knew how they worked. So he was automatically fearful. God asked him one question. He said, what's in your hands? The time Moses was like, I got a stick. Like, what? God showed him that the stick that was in his hand was greater than what he thought it was. The gifts that we have is more than meets the eye. For a long time, Moses had this stick, and he was using this stick probably for years and didn't realize his worth. What is in us that we don't know is there? what is happening in our lives and working on the inside of us now that we neglected and not realized is special, it's great, it's mighty, it's wonderful. And so Moses, he eventually does the great miraculous wonder and things of that sort. But I remember in my own life, having the struggles of my own, bumping my head against the wall, being exiled per se, almost like Moses was. And one day I finally paid attention to that bush that was burning in my life. What was the bush? My grandparents, my friends and family, brothers and sisters, people at the church. I finally decided that I would listen to what they had to say. And so in 2008, I decided, and again, this is my story. I decided that I would devote my all to God. I said, I tried everything else. Nothing else worked. So I'm just going to go back to what I was taught when I was coming up. And so that's what I did. And all I wanted to do in 2008 was just to be a good Christian. That's it. Like, I just wanted to be good. I didn't want to do nobody wrong. I was just trying to do everything that I could. And lo and behold, call me foolish, call me crazy, but I heard God in April tell me that he wanted me to teach and preach his word. Like this old deacon at my church used to say, he said, I heard him when he called me. Like, I heard him. Like, I know, like, without a doubt. But what I did with Moses, then I said, hold on now. I don't know if I can do this. Because I was afraid to talk in front of people. I was always nervous. I mean, if you gave me what to read, I didn't want to do it. I would hate to go into a room where, say for instance, all of you all know each other, and I come in the room and I just kind of sit here. And she started talking to me, hey, what's your name? How are you? What are you doing here? And everybody like to seem like they all in, like, yeah, who's the new guy? I always was like, I never wanted to be the center of attention. So I sit off in the back, whatever. But I didn't realize what was in me. I didn't realize the gifts, the skills that was in me. And I can say now, today, what I'm doing now. Speaking, preaching, teaching, consulting, workshops, whatever. I was born to do this. But I had to get started doing it. And I had to not shun what it was that I had. Your gift may not be like everybody else's. You may can't sing like the next person. You may can't draw, act. You may not be good at math like somebody else. And that may be something that you desire much for your life. But embrace who you are. Embrace what you have. Embrace what's been given to you. I used to be that person. There's two things that I always wanted to do in life. Two things. And God knows I can't do them. Number one, that's play the piano. See people playing the piano, and I just like, man, that looks so nice. You know, it looks so fun. The second thing was sing. If I start singing right now, y'all be like, please stop. But, so I look at people, John Legend, Donnie McClurkin, whatever, like these guys can sing. Who are all the different gospel singers, R&B singers, like they got it going on. The piano players, like my dreams of being Bach, Scott Joplin, them, I can forget about that. That ain't gonna happen. But I recognize this though. John Legend, Donnie McClurkin, there's something that I can do that they can't do. There's some things that you can do that other people can't do. And what you have, I can't stress this enough. Don't depreciate the value of what's been given to you. Don't shun it. If you don't know, I guess, what your purpose is, if you don't know what your call is, if you don't know what your gift is, I don't know, seek it out. The simplest thing I can tell you is this. You can take your passion, your desires, the things that you like to do. And then kind of like find the things that you're good at. And like you kind of like mix the two. Another thing I really like to do is play basketball. I suck though, but I like it. Can't hardly dribble, play some decent defense, and I got an okay jumper. But I have a ball if I'm playing, like I really don't care. But watch this though, I understand basketball though. I know where the players should be, I know where I should be at on the court. I know how the game should flow. Perhaps I could take that same passion and maybe be a coach. And so that's just an example. Maybe you can't sing but you love music and you know business. You should be a manager. Maybe you can't be an actor but you have this gift to be able to write plays. Be a director, be a playwright. Use what you have. Because nobody is going to, again, everybody, when I ask you who wants to be a millionaire, everybody raise their hand. But if I asked you, how many of you are actually taking the steps necessary to do it, how many could be truthful to say that I am? Like I'm putting that stuff into place right now. How many people can say that they read more than they watch TV? The average, let's just talk about African Americans. We only got to talk about everybody else, but the average African American millionaire reads 3 to 4 books a month. About a book a week. Have you read 3 or 4 books this year? See, what happens is people go to their classes, and the first thing they do when the professor gives them their assignment, they get the book and they go all the way to the end and see how many pages in the book. Right? Am I telling the truth? Instead of getting into the book and learning what the book has to offer to you. All right, so watch this. I said that when I first, became a Christian, when I first became a preacher, when I first became a Christian, I just wanted to be a good Christian. But then I became a preacher, and I realized as a preacher, to be honest with you, and I don't know if y'all think I'm doing a good job. I guess that really doesn't matter to me. But I recognize that when I first started preaching and speaking, I sucked. Period. I would get up there, and I would stand behind the podium, and I would open up my piece of paper, and I would keep my head down the whole time. And I would read word for word what was on the paper. Now, I had good content, because I studied. But the issue is I wasn't tapping in. I wasn't engaging in what it was that I knew I should be doing. So I had to watch the examples of what it was that I aspired to be. I had to mark the people, see what the successful people are doing, and try to follow that to the best of my ability within my skill set. Take some of the principles, some of the foundational things that they work with, and see how it is that they made it. So if I hear that knowledge is going to bring you power, I should probably be doing something to bring me more knowledge. More so, applied knowledge brings you power. But I need to be applying the knowledge that I'm getting. L.A. Reid, this guy was very successful A&R director and made millions of dollars before he decided to go back and take a business management class at Harvard. And when he was asked about why did you take the class, you're rich, you're successful already. Everybody wants to work with you. He said the moment that I stop growing is the moment I start dying. He said that somebody else in my same field, in my same profession, wanted to do what I'm going to do, they're going to stay in a continuous state of learning. And when I meet that person, I'm going to lose. The worst thing you can do is to, I see one of my friends, he's a baseball player. The last thing you can do is not practice like you're supposed to, and they come down to you and some other player, and they pick him because you didn't put the work in. Your application and this other person's application. Y'all both from the same school. Y'all essentially got the same skill set, but this person maybe, they took the extra time to proofread their stuff, and you didn't. Because you didn't have time. They woke up 5 minutes earlier, and they made it to their interview and had a better impression. I learned this the hard way.
What's going on, y'all? It's Mr. Bell. Some know me as Antone Quarboy Bell. Others know me as Elder Antone Bell. I am co-CEO of Bell Global Network, BGN TV 2090. And I want to invite you right now to get your own broadcast. Calling all ministries, all politicians, all business owners. Get your own broadcast right now, starting at $99. And if you have an idea for a TV show, we can bring your idea to reality. We have packages available that includes production and facilities. Also, we have advertising packages starting as little as $25. So don't hesitate. Give us a call at 313-355-7877. Once again, that's 313-355-7877 to make an appointment today.